The last page of the diary was blank. Lee Jun-young stopped. His father's old diary. The cover had worn through to bare board. The pages inside were yellowed and softened with age. He had found it at the very bottom of his father's desk drawer. He opened it slowly, expecting the usual. His father's handwriting filled every page. Dates, short entries, weather, meals, help, occasionally something different. Saw someone at the market. Walked to the far end of the alley. Said a prayer. And then, page by page toward the end, the handwriting began to tremble. His father's hands had not been what they once were. Still, he had kept writing. All the way to the last page. But the final page was completely blank. No date, no entry, just white. And at the very top of that white page, written in pencil, so faint it was almost invisible, one line. This page belongs to Hwang In-tae, a name Jun-young had never once heard. Not from his father, not in this house, not in 22 years of living together. His father had died 26 days ago. Heart failure before dawn, the evening before, dinner, television, cough, bed. Nothing more. The funeral had passed. His older brother had come from far away and left after 4 days. Jun-young remained alone. His mother had died when he was 16. After that, he and his father had lived together in this house for 22 years. One person left now in a house more than 50 years old. He had not moved a single thing from his father's room. The cushion, the teacup, the slippers, all still in their places. For more than 20 days he had put off sorting. Today he had gone in. Desk first, the bottom drawer, and at the very bottom, the diary. His father had been a quiet man. He had known his father kept this diary. He had never once looked inside. His father's desk was a place he did not approach. That was simply how this house worked. This page belongs to Hwang In-tae. Jun-young thought for 2 days. On the third morning he went to find the oldest resident of the village. A man past 80 who had known his father since childhood. He found him sitting in his yard taking the spring sun. He said the name Hwang In-tae. The old man closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke. An old name. He and your father grew up together in this alley. But In-tae was ill often as a child. His family had very little. Your father looked out for him. Then one day In-tae was simply gone. His family left. I cannot remember the exact year. After that there was no word from him. Whether he lived or not no one here knew. Jun-young asked, do you know where he went? The old man shook his head. I do not know. He just disappeared. Your father waited for him a long time. He said he developed a habit of looking toward the end of the alley whenever he passed. That is all I can tell you. Jun-young went home and read the diary from the beginning. Between the weather and the meals, scattered across the years, the name appeared. Looked toward the end of the alley. Not there. In-tae came to mind. He will not come this spring. Perhaps next year. Every spring, the same name returned. His father had waited for Hwang In-tae every spring for more than 20 years. And then at some point the name disappeared from the entries. Whether his father had stopped waiting or simply stopped writing it down, the diary did not say. But the last page remained blank, with that name reserved for it. 3 days later, after inquiries through a small local office, word came back. A man named Hwang In-tae was living in a care facility 2.5 hours away. He was close to 80 years old. Jun-young called the facility. He asked to speak with Hwang In-tae. He waited. A voice came on the line. Thin and slow. An old man's voice. He said, my name is Lee Jun-young. I am the son of Lee Dong-won. Silence. Long silence. Then the old man said Dong-won. The voice changed. It grew slightly fuller. A little more present. Jun-young said, my father died 26 days ago. I found his diary while sorting through his belongings. The last page was blank. At the top of that page, in small pencil letters, he had written one sentence. This page belongs to Hwang In-tae. Another long silence. The old man said Dong-won did that. Jun-young asked, may I come and visit you? He said come. The next morning Jun-young took the early bus. 2.5 hours. A village he had never visited. Cold wind still, even in April. The care facility stood at the edge of the village. An old building with a low outer wall. A small yard with several trees, their leaves just beginning to emerge. Small and pale. Spring arriving. He found the room. He knocked. Come in. The old man sat up in bed. Close to 80. His hair almost entirely white. His face very thin. Deep, quiet eyes. A worn set of indoor clothes. A blanket over his knees. Through the window the yard and its barely leafed trees were visible. He looked at Jun-young as he came in. He looked for a long time. Then he said, you look like Dong-won. Jun-young could not answer. He pulled a chair beside the bed and sat down. He opened the diary to the last page and held it out. The old man took it. He looked at the blank page. He found the faint pencil letters at the top. This page belongs to Hwang In-tae. He looked for a long time. His hands trembled slightly. Something old moved through his eyes. Then slowly he set it down. He said, Dong-won left this for me. Jun-young said, your name appears in the diary many times. Every spring. He waited for you a long time. The old man was quiet. He looked toward the window, at the barely leafed branches. Then he began. Dong-won and I grew up in the same alley. I was sick often. My mother died early. We had very little. Dong-won looked out for me. From when we were young. If I had nothing to eat, he shared his portion. When I was ill he sat beside me. Without saying anything. Just being there. That was Dong-won. Jun-young breathed slowly. He continued, then I had to leave the village. There were circumstances on my father's side. We had to go suddenly. I could not say goodbye to Dong-won. One morning I was simply gone. That stayed with me for a long time. Because I knew Dong-won would wait. He was the kind of person who waited. Whether you came or not, he waited. That was who he was. Jun-young's eyes burned. He closed them and opened them slowly. The old man said, I tried to find Dong-won too. Several times. I could not reach him. Then I ended up here and it became even harder. I could only hope he was alive. That he was well. That was all. Jun-young said he was alive. He waited for you every spring. He looked toward the end of the alley every time he passed. He left the last page blank for you. The old man closed his eyes for a long time. When he opened them, they were wet at the inner corners. He did not let it fall. A lifetime of holding things in. He said, this page belongs to Hwang In-tae. He left me a place to write. Jun-young said, would you like to write something? Now. The old man looked at him. Then he said, do you have a pen? Jun-young took a pen from his coat pocket and handed it over. The old man received it. His hand trembled. He opened the diary to the last page. The blank page. At the top, his name in small pencil letters. Below that, slowly, carefully, with the shaking hand of a man. Close to 80, he wrote, Dong-won, I came late. I am sorry. That was all. He set the pen down. He closed the diary. He held it with both hands for a moment. Then he returned it to Jun-young. Jun-young received it with both hands. His father's diary. Decades of entries. And on the last page, 2 sets of handwriting. His father's in pencil, reserving the space. Hwang In-tae's in pen, finally arriving. Would you have needed to know why your father waited for that person every spring for 20 years? Or would those 2 lines on the last page have been enough? The 2 men sat without speaking for a while. Through the window, the small pale leaves on the yard. Trees moved in the spring wind. April, arriving slowly. Not fully here yet, but arriving. Jun-young came home after dark. He went to his father's room. He sat at the desk. He opened the diary to the last page and left it there under the lamp. His father had been a quiet man, but not a man who stopped waiting. He had kept a blank page for a friend who might still come. He had looked toward the end of the alley. every spring for more than 20 years. Without saying a word, that was who his father had been. A man who waited. A man who kept the last page open. Today, at last, the page was no longer blank. What is kept in silence is not always gone. Sometimes it waits in the blank last page of an old diary. For 20 years, waiting for someone to finally fill it in. If this story stayed with you, the next one begins here too.